Welcome to more tales. Am I the a-hole if I tell a cheater's wife the truth? So to start, I'm looking for genuine advice and want the best possible outcome for all parties. My best friend, let's call her Jane, has been talking to a guy for 7 months. Let's call him Jack. When they first met online, Jack laid out this elaborate story. He told Jane that he had a 2-year-old daughter and was currently in the slow, agonizing process of getting a divorce. He claimed the divorce wasn't being placed as a priority by the legal system because there was no domestic violence involved, so it was taking the courts much longer to process. That was my first major red flag, but Jane completely ate it up. From there, Jack and Jane proceeded to talk day and night. But here's the bizarre kicker. They only talked via Call of Duty voice chat. When Jane asked if he had any social media accounts or a personal cell phone number they could just text and call each other on, he claimed he had neither. Second red flag right there. He tried to explain it away by saying he didn't own a personal phone at all, only a dedicated handset provided strictly for work use. Jane didn't think much of it and blindly accepted his story, proceeding to stream and chat with him continuously through SOD. They would sometimes even be online together while he was actively participating in his corporate work meetings, leaving his microphone unmuted so Jane could hear a good chunk of his professional life. During one of these calls, his boss casually chimed in on the line and asked, "How's your wife, Jack?" Jack immediately responded, "Good, good," and quickly steered the conversation away to another topic. When Jane confronted him about that slip-up later that night, Jack claimed he simply hadn't told his boss or coworkers about the severe marital problems he was having because he was far too embarrassed. That was my third massive red flag, and I begged Jane to open her eyes, but she refused to listen. Weeks went past, and Jack was pushing hard to come meet Jane in person. Jack lives on the US East Coast, while Jane lives on the Canadian East Coast. Jane had been pushing the trip off for a while because of school assignments, work commitments, and personal things, but Jack kept insisting they needed to finally see each other. Last week, Jane got a sudden urge to just try searching for his socials on her own. Well, it didn't take her long at all to find them. Not only did she locate his active Instagram and Facebook profiles, but she also discovered that he is currently in a fully active, seemingly happy marriage. It was absolutely nothing like how he had portrayed it to her. To make matters so much worse, Jane also found out that he doesn't just have one child, he actually has two. The youngest is a 7-month-old baby, meaning his wife was heavily pregnant or giving birth right when Jack started flirting with Jane online. Jane was furious. She took screenshots of his family photos and sent them straight to his inbox. Jack proceeded to play completely dumb at first, typing back, "Is that supposed to be me?" before finally breaking down and admitting it. Once caught, Jack pivoted to damage control. He claimed that he and his wife have been having severe problems for almost 2 years and have been on and off for that entire duration. He told Jane that deep down he knows his marriage won't work out, but he has to try one final time for his parents and his kids, not for his wife. He claimed he felt forced to try due to heavy family and religious obligations, insisting he felt completely trapped in his own home and didn't know what to do. Again, those were his exact words to her. After that tense exchange, he sent her one final dramatic email saying she deserved so much better than him and that he was deeply grateful for all the grace and love she had shown toward him. It was essentially a final goodbye message. But Jane was not having it. She was absolutely pissed. He was supposed to fly out in 2 weeks for them to finally meet in person and officially start their life together. They had spent months talking in detail about getting married, having kids, and growing old together. Jane had a lot of unanswered questions and refused to let him slip away so easily. She sent Jack one more email stating, "I need to talk to you. You can't just disappear like this." Jack cracked and responded, "If you feel it will bring you peace, then yes, we can talk one final time." They spoke today. For 5 entire hours. For this next part, I just want to make it abundantly clear that I think Jack is completely full of shit. Jack proceeded to pour his heart out to Jane during this massive 5-hour phone call, telling her that he loves her more than anything in the world, that he is completely stuck, and that he doesn't know what to do. He cried about how he doesn't want to lose his kids and knows that if his wife ever finds out about the affair, it is entirely over for him and his whole life will be completely ruined. At one point, he literally started sobbing hysterically into the receiver, praying aloud to God and wailing, "God, why would you let me get to this point? Why wouldn't you just end my life?" It was absurdly dramatic, going on for minutes on end. Again, I think Jack is completely full of shit and is just masterfully playing on Jane's desperate emotions to weasel his way out of a catastrophic mess. I didn't get every single detail of the call quite yet, but Jack somehow has Jane completely convinced that he truly loves her and is genuinely trapped in a miserable, loveless life with his wife. Personally, I think Jack is just another pathetic man cheating on his wife, panicking because his side piece uncovered his real identity. Jane somehow uncovered his entire personal life, and he is absolutely shitting himself. Yet, Jane is now convinced that Jack is going to leave his wife in a couple of months, and that they are legitimate soulmates meant to be together forever. I tried sitting her down and telling her bluntly that he is never going to leave his wife, and even if he somehow does, the aftermath is going to be an absolute nightmare. Jane just shrugged it off and said she doesn't care. She wants them to be together no matter what, and she explicitly told him to leave his wife and children for her. To add one last insane layer to this story, Jane also basically threatened and blackmailed Jack into staying in daily contact with her. Her reasoning to him was that he can't just abandon her after planning an entire future together, so he owes it to her to emotionally support her. So there's that. In my eyes, Jack could have easily said all those dramatic, tearful things on the phone just to ensure Jane doesn't drop a massive bomb on his home life, and to keep her quiet for the time being. But what neither Jack nor Jane knows is that I personally found his wife's Instagram and Facebook accounts on my own. The only major hurdle right now is that I have zero concrete evidence saved on my own phone to send her to back it up, as Jane holds all the primary screenshots. Yes, Jane is being extremely naive and foolish right now, but she's a woman who genuinely believes she is wildly in love with this guy. Still, she's my friend, and it is hugely disappointing to watch her willingly try to meddle in a married man's life like this. To be completely honest, I don't even know if I can continue being friends with her after witnessing all of this unfold, depending on how things end up. I desperately hope she snaps out of it and makes the right choice. But as for his poor, unsuspecting wife, I am torn on what steps to take next. Should I or should I not reach out to Jack's wife? What is the right thing to do? Update. So I spoke with Jane today, and she completely changed parts of her story. She now claims that she never actually blackmailed Jack out loud, insisting those threats were just thoughts inside her own head that she had blurted out to me during her previous panic. According to her, they have been talking for the last couple of days as if everything is completely normal, except she bragged that she currently has him wrapped around her finger. Jack explicitly told Jane that things were actually going well with his wife right now, and that he didn't want to pursue anything with Jane any longer. However, Jane somehow managed to persuade him otherwise. She told him bluntly, "You need to come see me here, and we are going to do the horizontal tango." She demanded that he owed her this visit for causing her so much emotional pain over the past 7 months. Surprisingly, he agreed to her conditions. Jack asked her to write up a formal proposal outlining exactly what she wants out of this relationship moving forward. Throughout the conversation, he kept reiterating, "Jane, I have a wife and 2 kids. Like, this isn't going to work." But Jane snapped back that she didn't give a damn, insisting she was going to get what she wanted out of him regardless of his marriage. Jack was basically laying it out clearly that he has zero intention of leaving his wife. Essentially, they are planning a full-blown physical affair now, moving far beyond the emotional cheating. Jane admitted that she simply doesn't care about his wife anymore. She even started referring to herself using degrading terms like his little slut and whore. While she promised Jack that she would never blackmail him, she let slip to me that she is keeping all her evidence in her back pocket just in case she needs leverage later. Jane is convinced that Jack will eventually leave his wife in a couple of years because he supposedly isn't getting his needs met at home, is miserable, and married too young. The list of excuses just kept going on and on. Mind you, she was completely drunk while spewing all of this over the phone, and I could barely squeeze a word in. At one point, the entire conversation became so sickening that I lied and told her I had to take another incoming call just to hang up. I couldn't keep listening to her rationalize it. She mentioned that I'm the only friend she trusts with any of this. She currently lives with 2 of her other closest friends, and she admitted they would kick her out immediately if they ever discovered the extent of what she was doing. I am debating whether to meet up with one of those roommates in secret to lay everything out, though I wonder if that might be pointless. Either way, I've decided I am completely fine with letting go of our 12-year friendship. This is not the type of person I want around myself or my future family. To make matters worse, I recently uncovered another disturbing secret. She was previously engaging in physical intimacy with her non-blood-related uncle. The only reason it stopped was because her aunt caught them meeting up behind closed doors on home security cameras. Her aunt still doesn't know the full extent of what happened between them, believing it was far less serious, and Jane actively hid the truth from her own family. I feel like I'm slowly uncovering a monster and realized I have no idea who my best friend actually is anymore. Jack believes this upcoming trip to see her will be a one-time thing, but Jane has vastly different plans. She told me that once Jack gets a taste of her, he will keep coming back for seconds no matter what he claims right now. I'm still debating the best way to present all of this information to his wife. Would I still be the asshole if I went through with telling her? Am I the asshole if I meet up with the roommates she lives with to tell them everything too? I know for a fact that if they knew the truth, they would cut her off immediately as well. Thank you for visiting More Tales.